How you doing? Pernell Bobby checking in with you, and I have 7 life rules for you. Call it what you want. Now, these are what I look at as like 7 life rules that if you are abiding by this, allowing this to guide you, not necessarily having to do it or you die, but I will tell you if you want to live a more fulfilling life, this is something that I highly recommend if you're looking for a start point to go ahead and add in, extract what you like, and just go ahead and dispose everything that does not fit or apply to you, right? Everything's not going to apply to you that applies to me, but I will and truly can commit to giving you what works for me. Anything you ever get that works for me is the only thing I'm ever going to give to you. I'm not going to use someone else's lessons. I'm not going to tell you how to make $2 billion. I haven't done it. I'm not going to tell you how to make $1 billion. Jay-Z would be that guy for you, right? So one of my keys to life, let's see what we got here. The Iceberg Effect. So I wrote down some stuff for a coaching curriculum. I want to just give you some insight on this. So this is exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the one that you turn a blind eye. The Iceberg Effect. Never to take opportunities, obligations, or suffering at surface value. If you look to dig deeper and be aware of the multiple layers to all things, you're going to be better off, right? Look at Titanic. That big ship historically crashed. Why? Because they only saw the little cap, but underneath the water we saw this big, much larger issue. If you look at your life right now, notice what I said, obligations, to never take obligations, opportunities, or suffering at surface value. So with opportunities, you may see something and say, oh, you know, this is an opportunity. I had a conversation with this guy who, wanted me to come on board for a speaking engagement. You know, don't just take that at surface value, right? Don't just take that from that initial conversation. You don't know how deep that connection can grow to, right? So if I was to move on with you, the second one right here is to see and listen, right? So when you look and you see something, it's very different. Just like when you hear and you listen to something, it's very different. So when you look at a person, this is one of the examples that I like to use. When you look at a person, you know, they may just be a serial number to you, just, you know, one more person in that 8 billion people that are on this planet. But when you see a person as an individual, which we all are, then everything starts to change. You look at me more than just a black kid that's wearing a company t-shirt as you passing by in a co-working space. You actually choose to see me for more than like, you know, what you think I am with glasses, without glasses. All those things really change the variables. So you may take a step and think and realize that, yo, no, this guy, Pernell Bobby, is really impacting change. And he's doing it through his real life experiences, given things that happen in his actual life to go ahead and connect the bridge for people that, yeah, you may already got this lesson, but it may not connect with you the same way as hearing the story right here, right now. Okay, the Titanic example may be one of those. So that's one of my abilities, okay, right? So if you see me, you see that that's more what I am than rather that black kid that I walked by wearing a company shirt, he looked like he was doing something important. But you were too focused on X, Y, and Z, which you have your right to do, right? And then now within the see and listen, it goes to hear and listen, right? So see and listen is just a lesson. You want to see people. You want to listen to people. Because when you hear something, it's like, oh, I heard that noise last night in the middle of the night. I heard something rummaging in the trash. But when you listen to something, you're listening intently, right? You're being attentive. So when you're, let's say in a relationship, you don't want to just hear the person. You want to listen to them because they're giving you the answers to what the problem may be at hand. But if you're just trying to simultaneously multitask and watch TV, you're not really listening to that person. And so you're also a part of the cause of where the next issues come from. And you're not going to even know how to resolve it because you failed to listen and you just chose to hear. Okay, that's 2. The Iceberg Effect, see and listen is number 2. The third one is to become obsessed. Now, these are interchangeable. There's no like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what I mean by becoming obsessed really works into the next one, which is the 4th one. So maybe I even switch those around. So I'm going to say, let's say the 3rd one is to find the vision, right? So right here I have to find the vision. Right? It's a plan for the future with imaginative wisdom, for what you desire. Imaginative wisdom for what you desire. Vision with obsession, which is actually what I had as a third, so they're kind of interchangeable, they go hand in hand. Vision with obsession will guide us through treacherous waters when times get dark. The more magnificent our vision, the greater the expectation for suffering, but the greater the reward. So it comes hand in hand. So the bigger your vision, yes, you will have more hardship, you will have more suffering. And we know through history that suffering has always, unless you choose to give up, die, and roll over, has always worked in your favor. Because on the flip side, the grass is usually greener, right? And if it's not, when you go through that next lesson, it's usually really, really green. Like I said, the bigger the vision, the larger the rewards when you stick with it. And that's why, and they're going to say that's the third rule of life, for the 7 rules of life that I designed. The fourth one would be to become obsessed. I'm gonna give you what my definition of obsession is, right? So to become obsessed is to occupy your mind intrusively with your passionate vision, what we just talked about, and your purpose. To occupy your mind intrusively with your passionate vision and your purpose. Without obsession, you are bound to being mediocre. And you're gonna lose interest at the first sign of difficulty. Now that's important, and when you're not obsessed about a task, your work, your love life, your career, your business, your finances, you will be bound to mediocrity. And when you say it like that, I chose these words specifically. Notice that these aren't long sentences. This is me using teaching principles within my actual curriculum, within the Institute of Life. Boom, just magically wearing this today. But that's a part of the accession. I want you to ask me what this is about. I want you to, right? Okay, so that's 4 down. The 5th goes on to the 2nd page. So that's just 1 page, right? And I'll show this to you briefly in a second. To avoid hypocrites. Got that from my man Ralph Waters, right? You want to avoid hypocrites. Why? Because hypocrites are oftentimes associated with cognitive dissonance. So my psychology workers, my social workers, my behavioral therapists, this may really resonate with you. Cognitive dissonance. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the 5th out of 7. So stick with me. This is getting good. Avoid hypocrites. Why? Because of cognitive dissonance. So it's conflicting attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors between verbal cues and actions is the first warning. Okay, cognitive attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors between verbal cues and actions is the first warning that you're around a hypocrite. Okay, now next step. Get away from people whose actions aren't in unison with their thoughts and language. Now, I had to look up the word language. Language is actually a little bit deeper. It's not only just into spoken, but written words, right? And it has a set of rules to it. So let's actually stick with me. I'm gonna give you a quick, because I found the importance of our word choice and what the actual definitions are. So language means the method of human communication, either spoken or written, consisting of the use of words in a structured and conventional way. Very different than words, right? So that's the 5th one. Let's get down to the 6th one, because you can imagine why you want to avoid hypocrites, right? And so to finish it off, if you do not get away from people that are hypocrites, that have cognitive dissonance, then you will be a victim of contagion. And I even had to look up contagion to use the proper word. And contagion is just like a disease passing from one person to the other, because I do believe that hypocrisy is a disease and it is contagious. And if you're around a bunch of hypocrites, you will be cognitively dissonant from yourself. Okay, the 6th one, we got last 2, right? I literally said that's valid. And ironically, I learned this from one of my relationships, right? Validate yourself and respect others. So the image that we have of ourselves is of utmost importance, right? It is more important than the image that other people have of you. But I used to disregard the image that other people had of me and think and look at it as like, this is not even important at all. No, that's not true. Okay, so validate yourself and respect others. No matter who speaks or acts, we are never above another human being. Rightfully so. You can agree with that, right? Okay, great. If you don't have a pen and pad by now, I don't even know what you're doing with your life. Giving out gold nuggets, people. Gold. Okay. Regardless of how ludicrous ideas, actions, or language may seem, trust that the dots will connect somehow in your own future and theirs. Now, it finishes off. Internally, validate yourself first. Every time. Every time. This will prevent others from swaying your actions of legendary greatness. Now, you're not going to get this in a dictionary, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this is what I've created myself. So I'm giving out gold nuggets, exclusive nuggets. This is why you want to stick around for the last rule, and the last rule had to, of course, be the most important, the most significant. And it is exactly that. This is the key. And the key is significance. Operate from a place of significance, ladies and gentlemen. Life is about love and using our greatness to be significant. Now, we have to look up significant, and significant came down to, and I think I could just press forward because I already had it. Okay, sufficiently great or important to be worthy of attention. It means noteworthy, okay? Now, why is that important? I'm gonna bring it back to you. Life is about love and using our greatness to be significant through unparalleled service to others. I use the word unparalleled for a reason. Like, you are your own individual. So you have your own level of significance that you can go ahead and promote, that you can go ahead and give, dish, and serve to others. You like how I use that, dish and serve to others? Okay, boom. So you owe yourself and others a level of commitment to do, be, and live your highest expression. Okay, don't take that lightly. Replay that if you need to. With significance, you will be truly happy, divinely committed, and entirely untouchable, mentally and physically, and so much more. Okay, so I can close the laptop down. That is your 7 rules to life. Okay, it's Pernell Bobby checking in with you. This is not something to be taken lightly. This is not the rules of all life. I'm not giving you the Bible, but what I am giving you is something that you can apply today, right now, on the way to work. Get it done. Oh my God. These are the rules that I live by. You see how happy I am, right? So stay tuned with me. Keep checking in. I want to keep giving out massive value, freaking indispensable value, right? Like I did that again. The power of language, ladies and gentlemen. I will probably do, actually I have a video on the power of language. So if you've been following me, then go ahead and look at it. Subscribe to this. Let me know. Check me out on YouTube, Pernell Bobby, Pernell Bobby. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I promised that I was going to show you a little bit of so that the guilt, shame, regret is an exercise. Here's the 7 rules of life. Notice that these are very short rules. It may have sounded a little longer because I was in explanation, but this is me designing it right now. If you're not already hip on Canva, this is something that you need to be doing. If you need a designer, just if you're looking in the beginning stage to save some money. But notice that these are things that I wrote out. The significance was the last one. Make sure you go ahead and step up and pull the trigger. I promise you I was going to let you see some inside scoop, so that's